everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, many of you are probably familiar with this company named EXO Drones. It's a USA company and they've been around for a little bit and they sell drones that are somewhat, average, nothing exciting. But recently they added a much more upper tier level of drones to their list of products available to you, the consumer. And I have one here. This is called the Blackhawk 2 Pro. It's a full feature drone. What does that full feature drone have? Well, it has obstacle avoidance, front and rear, and the ability to bypass objects. It's smart enough to do that. It won't just stop in midair. Has a very good camera up front, ton of sensors on the bottom, rated to fly a super long distance, long flight time, and it has all these autonomous features that you would probably use to do all sorts of things that you just press buttons and you let the drone do it all. So I'm going to review it in this video, but before I get into that, let me tell you a bit more about it. So check me out indoors. All right, let me tell you some information on the Blackhawk 2 Pro. This is a drone made by HUBSAN, but it's made by HUBSAN for EXO Drones. So the specifications on it are a little bit different for the North American audience. As an example, there's a bit more boost in the controller to give you a little bit more range. And these finicky cables, when you would get a HUBSAN drone all the time, people would complain about controller disconnected or drone disconnected. It was always because this cable going into your iPhone or Android phone was kind of cheapy. So these are really beefy cables and you get one for every type of phone. Also, the specs within the drone and hardware and styling and everything are a little bit different than you would get from HUBSAN as well. There's future development to make this a 4K 60 frames per second drone. Right now it's 4K 30. And of course the manual, the instruction manual, is actually written in proper English and it's a joy to read. You read it like a novel. It's so good compared to what you would normally get from overseas companies. Oh, and I should also mention, since it's a USA company, that means, they support all these drones in the USA, and it's for the USA audience. They are planning to go international by, I think, September or October of this year. So people outside of North America, you'll be able to buy this by then. So this model in front of me is the Blackhawk Pro 2. It's the top level model. There are lesser models on their website that you can buy, but if you want this one, you can do the pre-order now and they'll be shipping the end of this month of July. In the review you're about to see, I cover pretty much 90% of everything you need to know about this drone. If you have questions, hopefully the review covers it. It's quite lengthy. I'm trying to keep it around the 20-minute to 30-minute mark, so I'm going to stop talking here. And let me just tell you some quick specs on this before we get into the review. Here we go. The camera does have a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor, and it can take 48 megapixel photos. It can also shoot video all the way up to 200 megabits if you wish. The aperture is a whopping 1.85. That's very wide open, so it should work well for night mode. I do a night mode test in this review. You're going to see it. There's also a night mode setting. For filming at night, it does have a landing light, and you can cause that landing light to stay on while you're flying, so you do have an identification light. For those that like HDR, it is HDR equipped. For those that like taking photos and DNG RAW, it does have that. For those who love to zoom in on everything, it does have a 6x digital zoom if you're shooting in 1080p, but if you go up to 4K, it's a 2.5 times zoom. The gimbal, of course, is 3-axis, and in my review, I did not notice any horizon tilt. It has all the autonomous features you would want, all the quick shots that you're used to on DJI drones and Autel drones. It has those. It also has 64 gigs of onboard memory, just in case you forget your memory card or don't want to use one. It also has a hyperlapse mode, which I'll show you in this video. It also has 3 speeds, sport, normal, and film. And of course, what everybody wants, it does have front and rear obstacle avoidance, and it is smart obstacle avoidance. In other words, it will go around objects. It does have follow me tracking and GPS tracking and a host of other autonomous modes. The included battery will get you 35 minutes of flight time, and for range, you have a 5-mile max flight distance. If it's windy out, no problem, because it is capable of flying in level 8 winds. So hopefully I haven't missed anything, and if I did, you're going to see it in this review. Oh, by the way, this is in competition with the DJI Air 2S. So if you're thinking of buying a DJI Air 2S, you may want to also think about buying this drone. So let's get on with the review. Here we go. All right, welcome back to me. Let's take this for a flight. So you take your controller, take your antennas, put them up in the air. Look at my hat cam looking forward, and then bend them back like this. That is so that when you hold your controller like this, it gets good reception with your drone. Next in here, we're gonna have to put our cell phone. But before we do that, let's power it on. So you have a power button here, press it once, press it again, wait for a beep. I got the beep, it's on. Next, put your cell phone in the controller and then take this cable. There's one for every type of phone on the planet, and plug it in here. You don't have to worry about Wi-Fi from here to here or anything like that. It's automatically connected. Next, we power on the drone. You have a little button down here. Press that and hold it again, and it should power on. We'll hear a little bit of music. It sounds like Santana. What is that song? Now the cool thing about this drone is it has a fan in it and it turns off the high range VTX in it. So in other words, it doesn't push out a lot of power when you power it on. So if you leave it out here in the hot sun, it's really hot today, it will not overheat. The app you want to use is called Blackhawk 2. Now I've already flown this drone once to test it out, and I'm going to tell you a little story in a second, but I have to format the memory card because I filled it up. So I'm just going to hit format here and I'm formatting the memory card, and I'll show you that there's already 64 gigs of memory on here. So if I forgot a memory card or my memory card was full, I can switch over and use the internal memories. Okay, the story I was going to tell you is this. When EXO Drones sent me this, they sent me this drone maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and they told me as soon as you get it, take it out and fly it, because these are pre-production models, the first models off the assembly line, and there may be problems that we have to identify and fix. I didn't do that because I'm busy. I'm Captain Drone. I'm out doing a million other things and trying to enjoy life. So I didn't do it. I took it out yesterday for a flight, flew it around with my friends, and I had all sorts of errors on here. I should have did what they said because I had IMU errors, I had vibration errors, I had compass calibration errors, I had all sorts of things. I sorted them all out. I've done IMU calibrations on it, but it still comes up and it tells me right here on the screen. I can see it. IMU deviation is large. Please recalibrate IMU. I've done that twice already, indoors as well as outdoors, and it still doesn't seem to clear it. When you buy this, you will not get a pre-production version like this. You will get the one that everybody else gets that's finished. Everything works perfectly. So ignore my little errors on my screen. So we're all set to go. And if you're wondering about the obstacle avoidance, it's pretty cool on here. I'm going to show you that in flight. If you look down the left-hand side, you'll see this big red circle. When it's red like that, obstacle avoidance is off. And probably when it takes off, it's going to say, hey, your obstacle avoidance is off. But anyways, we'll fly it now and find out. Now you can do the beginner mode. There's a little thing on here on my screen. You can see it at the bottom lower left. There's an up arrow. Hit that. It will take off automatically if you don't know how to fly drones. But if you do know how to fly drones, just take the 2 joysticks here and pull them down and out. Watch, here we go. Down and out. And the motors will start. There we go. Now we can fly it. Let's take it up.
No obstacle avoidance mode.
I told you it would tell me about the obstacle avoidance. All right, I'm going up nice and slow. The reason I have the obstacle avoidance off is because it will beep, 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 beep and drive me up the wall. All right, so there's our drone. It is windy out here. You can see it's bouncing around in the wind. If you want to see how windy it is, there's a big prop up there. I don't know if you can see it. It's blowing in the wind. So let me show you the camera first. Video record is on. I'm recording at 4K, 30 frames per second, and that's the image. I'm going to take it up a bit. Going up, 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 up. And I'll bring the gimbal down slightly to look at the school. There we go, like that. Okay, next I'm gonna take a photo. And now if I go to my settings, I'm gonna turn on 48 megapixel photos. So the first photo is HDR and the second photo is non-HDR, but at 48, that's the maximum you can take a photo at. Next, I'm gonna show you the zoom on here, and there is a slider on my screen. Look on the right-hand side. I'm just gonna pull that slider down and zoom all the way into 2.5. There we go. So at 4K, 30 frames per second, the max zoom is 2.5. And you tell me, how does that look? Is that acceptable? Is it grainy? Is it blotchy? Is it all sorts of artifacts? Or is it really nice? And let's zoom back out. There we go. So what do you think of the camera so far? I will say it is not in the quiet category for a drone. As you can hear it, I have to talk quite loud. It's not super noisy, but it's, you know, your average drone with props that makes that buzzing bee sound. So to use the obstacle avoidance, you turn it on and it's going to give you a message saying it doesn't work or something right here. It says you have to calibrate it. So for guys like me, I ignore that and I just hit forced open. So do that. You have off, brake, and bypass. Let's do brake first. I'll show you how that works. There's a tree and I'm going to slam the drone into it with this joystick. Here we go. Go. It better work. There we go. She stopped perfectly. And bring it back. And it should stop before hitting me. Turn it around because I have avoidance on the rear too. Fly it backwards into that tree. Backwards into the tree. Here it goes. Here's it going. And she stops. There we go. So bring it back to me. So that's pretty cool, but let me show you the bypass. The bypass is really cool. Watch this. Now it has to figure out how to get around that tree, and it should go to the right. So let me slam it into the tree. There we are, you see it? And it should go around to the right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Go around, go around, go around. There she's going. I'm not doing anything. There it is, right around. Nice. The next thing I want to show you is the active track and the follow me. On the left-hand side, hit the little item that looks like an X at the top, and let's find follow mode. There we are. So let's do active track. Draw a box around me, and then I hit go in the center, and it should track me. So if I walk, let's see. Does it track me? Yep. Hold this out so you can see I'm just letting it track. We can go through things here. I'm gonna go this way. It's gonna track me this way. Those beeps you hear is because of this tree. It will stop and not hit the tree. I still have it on bypass. So if I come close to the tree, it should be smart enough to go around this tree, like as I go here, like that. So it should avoid the tree. There we are. Just be aware that this active track is really good as long as you stand out from the background. As soon as there's lots of shadows and stuff like that, then it won't follow you anymore if you walk into shadows. All right, so that's the first tracking. And now I want to go into the next type of tracking, which is follow mode, and which would be follow me, which is GPS tracking. So execute immediately. I gotta hold my phone like this so it knows where I'm going. And now what it should do is it's not gonna follow me, but it's gonna follow my phone. So wherever my phone is, that's what it wants to follow. So let's see, I'm going this way, let's go this way. It's gonna be less accurate following your phone because it's following your phone. It's just like whatever signal your phone sends to it, that's what it follows. You know, bring that up a little bit. So if you do something silly, like look what I'm doing. I'm walking between this post here and this tree. It won't lose me in the shadows, but at the same time, it's just, it might see that object, not be smart enough to go around it. All right, it went around it. That's good. It's good at following you, but you better put it higher up because it doesn't accurately keep you in the center of the screen. So let's go back. So if I look up, the drone is up there. It's still following my phone, but I'm not in the center of the screen unless I bring the camera down. Watch, I gotta bring it all the way down. I'll be under it. There we go. So now I could walk under it while it's above me, following the GPS in my phone. Now it does have a hyperlapse mode in here, but I find hyperlapse drains the battery quite significantly. All drones that do hyperlapse, that's the worst for them. The battery always drains, but here I'll show you one really quick. So I'll go hyperlapse. All right, so you saw the hyperlapse and you probably noticed that it wasn't the smoothest. The camera moves all over the place. That's because the drone bobbles in the air. It's normal. It has to be high up and you have to shoot from far away, not close up like I did. But that's hyperlapse. Now you do have a takeoff and landing light on the bottom. So let me turn it on here. I've got it on automatic for night, but I could turn it on here. Now it's on, landing light, and then, whoa, that sun's bright. I can't tell what's the light and what's the sun. Now there is a mode on here for people who want to do TikTok and social media and have the image vertical, vice horizontal. So if my phone is recording, there's something called portrait mode. I'm going to turn it on. And if it works, then the screen will change to portrait mode. So there we go. We have portrait mode happening, and that would be vertical. So I can move the drone around, and you see you can get those type of videos where everything is vertical, vice horizontal, if you wish. And I don't think it works in all flight modes. I'll just check here. I'll go into the flight modes. So if I wanted to go to something like follow, does it work? Follow mode. Yeah, it does work. So I can go active track. Oh no, please take off portrait mode. So yeah, I guess it doesn't work in all modes. Okay, let me show you quickly the other modes that are on here. On the left-hand side, let's go to the top. We have normal, that's our normal flight. Hyperlapse, I showed you that. You can do waypoints. It's exactly the same as on other HUBSAN drones. Orbit mode, you can orbit objects, point of interest, or yourself. It's really simple. Follow mode, that's the most popular, I showed you that. Creative video is like quick shots. So there you go, you can see on creative mode, you have all the items that you would normally find like on quick shots on a DJI drone or other drones out there. So fly to the sky is straight up, that's like rocket mode. 360 is orbit. Comet is orbit with a spin. Droney is up and out, and of course you have auto drifting, which I have no idea what that is. And finally, the last one on here is line fly mode, and that is basically you just draw a line on your map. You want to say, I want to go from here to another location, and it will fly. It's like tap to fly. Okay, a lot of people want to see what the range test on this is. I'm not going to fly it out far, but I'm going to do a penetration test. So I'm going to take it around this tree, around the school, and see how far I can get it into the back of the school. So here we go. I'll take it nice and slow. Let's see how far we get. My antennas are facing this way, so the transmission has to go through, well, through the trees and everything else. Let's see if we can go. Let's see how far we can go. I'm gonna stand right here. Does this camera have me? All right, here we go. Coming along. Heading towards the fence. I'm going to go this way a bit. I don't know if the obstacle avoidance is going to let me go around these objects because it's going to get confused. So I might have to take it up a little bit. There we go. Just to be safe because it's beeping already. I'll bring the camera down a bit so you can see where we're going. All right, so if I stop here and just show you, you can't see me anymore. See, all this is between, well, it's between the drone and I. So I'm out there with those trees way behind that fence. So here we go. How good's the penetration? How powerful is it? Going forward. Got to get behind these portables. Going this way. Going this way. I'm relying on the obstacle avoidance to tell me when something is in the way. Let's go this way behind these trees. It's pretty good so far. Hasn't crapped out yet. When it craps out, it's just going to go into return to home. Look at this. I'm almost at the back of the school. If it makes it to the back of the school, then that's pretty darn good. It's got awesome penetration power. Going this way over the sheds and the gas-powered things. Yeah, look at this. I am at... Oh, it's starting to get jerky on my screen, and I think I'm going to lose transmission because I'm at the back of the school now. Yeah. I think I've lost it. There we go.
Please adjust the antenna.
Signal poor. Please adjust the antenna.
Poor signal. Please adjust the antenna.
I've lost total viewing of where the drone is.
Return to home.
It's automatically coming back. It's looking for the landing pad. It found it. And let's see if it brings itself on top of the landing pad. Come on down. It's got it in sight. Don't lose it. The only time it can lose it is when it lifts that camera up to look forward because it doesn't want to land on its own camera. So it's going to lift its, there it went forward. So now it has to come down. It's coming down blind, and I'm just going to see if I can pull this out of the way quick. Whoa, there we go. There we are. She did well. So for the penetration test, I'm going to give it a score of above average. It's a little bit better than average for most drones, so I think it's pretty good. Okay, I just looked at my phone and I see that the screen recording was not always working. So right now, let me just show you the video settings really quick. So we're in video mode, and if I click on video camera, here's the resolution. You have 4K all the way down to 720p. And then if I click on bit rate, you have from 10 all the way up to 200 megabits. If you want to make the image even better, crank it up to 200. And then portrait mode, I already showed you. And these are all your other options. You have style, saturation, contrast, sharpness, H-log, night mode, HDR, grid lines, and all the other good stuff. And then over on the other side here, where I can change it to a camera mode like that, these are all your settings for cameras. Right here, you have photo mode, single shot, continuous time, panoramic. Please note that panoramic is not like panoramic on other drones. You have to stitch it together on this one yourself. The drone does not do it for you. And then you have photo format. You have JPEG or RAW. So I have it in JPEG right now. All right, the next thing to show you really quick is you have F and S button right here. That means film, normal, and sport. Here's the speed on normal. That's full blast normal. I'll take it around me. Flying around in a circle here. So that's normal mode. That's how everybody flies a drone in normal mode. No issues there. Let's bring it back and let's put it in film mode, okay? Film mode, hold this down. We are in film mode, so let's go, see what it does. Much slower. I've got the joystick on full blast and I'm turning as fast as I can, as hard as I can, and look at how wide it's going. It takes a long time to turn. So it's there's no abrupt movements when you're in film mode, so that's the whole idea of film mode. All right, so let's come back here, stop that. And let's go into sport mode and watch me chop my head off. All right, I'm in sport mode. Here we go. Woohoo! Now you can have fun. All right, so obviously it's faster than normal mode. It's very easy for me to control. A newbie would have difficulty trying to do what I'm doing, but this is very easy for me. So that's sport mode. You can get up to a good speed with that. All right, let's bring that over here. Do some funnels, and let's bring it on back to me. Over here, and then some more funnels. There we are. There we go. All right. So the next thing I'll do is I'll change the battery, take it up and take some video and photos around the area and then bring it back. And that will be pretty much the end of this review. I don't think I missed anything important that I should be covering, but I think that's it.
No obstacle avoidance mode. Please fly with caution.
Now when you buy this little baby, you get it in this box and you get this shoulder bag with it. So let me show you everything you get. This is the box your Blackhawk 2 Pro comes in. Opening the box, you'll find your shoulder bag. Opening the shoulder bag, you'll find your drone and accessories. The drone unfolds nicely in a few quick seconds. Motors are brushless with foldable props. Plenty of instruments and sensors on the bottom. This port is for your micro SD card and this port is for your data connection. The included LiPo battery is 3800 milliamp hours. If you get the package with 3 batteries, you will also get 3 charging hubs. So each battery connects to a hub and then you connect each hub together and then plug the charging brick into the wall and they all charge up at exactly the same time. Total takeoff weight of the drone is 556 grams. The included remote is rechargeable and you charge it up right here. Your cell phone fits right here. Spare joysticks are hidden down here, or you can put your current joysticks there. Buttons are large and easily identifiable. The display can be seen outdoors on a sunny day, but it's not super bright. Additional accessories include a mini screwdriver, USB cables, spare props, and cables for your phones. You also receive an owner's manual and quick start guide, as well as a pile of stickers. That's my review of the Blackhawk 2 Pro, and as mentioned earlier, it is in competition with the DJI Air 2S, so anybody looking for this drone should consider this one. There's a $200 savings between the two, actually even more than that if you go to the Fly More package. For example, let me just put this down. If I get this drone with 1 battery, it's $799 US, and if I get it with 2 batteries, it's $949 US, and if I get it with 3 batteries, it's $1,079 US. And to jump over here, this one's starting price is $999 US. So you see that's right there with 1 battery, and this one, it's a $200 difference. There is no 2 battery option for this one, and this one jumps up next to a 3 battery option, which is considered the Fly More kit, for $1,299, whereas I mentioned this one is only $1,079 for the same thing. And according to the website, it is available July 25th of the year 2022, but you can pre-order now. So with that said, I'm going to put links below to this drone. You've seen the review here. You've seen what it could do. Is it for you? Well, only you can decide, because I'm not you. So if you have any questions on this drone, just post them below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos on drones like this in the future, well then just stay subscribed to this channel, because that's what I do. So for now I say thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!